how to chlorinate water. All of this stuff we learned how to do. You know, if you have to go to the bathroom, how to destroy the remains so that you don't increase the infection and bacteria where you're at, just in case you have to stay there. And you can't go back out anytime soon. You're going to have to know, or you're going to have to get used to eating things crawling around on the ground. That's going to become dinner. And like I tell the brothers, I enjoy that kind of training. See, I got training like that before. You know, any of you guys ever eat a snake? Huh? Well, don't say you never do it. I mean, we may sit here and say, no, not me, man, and wait till it happens, man. Be no rats in your neighborhood, my brother. Rat Alice Squeak instead of Chicken Ella King. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here, so just so y'all can ask me some questions and make this more real, because I know you guys got some questions here. So decontaminate yourself. You can't do it up to a certain point. And listen, the only thing that you may have a serious problem with is if it's radiation. Okay? And I just want to say this real quick. They play the number games with us. They tell us Russia has got 54,000 missiles, right? The missiles don't do the damage to you. The warheads do the damage. How many warheads per missile? 10 to 15. Multiply that times 54,000, you get around a neighborhood of somewhere 300,000 warheads. What is the temperature of a warhead when it detonates? 1 million to 100 million degrees Fahrenheit. Everything at ground zero is melted. Dust will explode at that temperature. Okay? Produce scorching winds, 400 miles per hour. You ain't getting out of that. So, if we're going to talk about surviving, there's a lot of things that we better start doing right now. And how long do this is just my opinion now, so note it as such. I figure by 1995, Clinton's going to make his debut. And why do I say that? When you get a chance, pick up a book called the Apocrypha. These are books that used to be in the Bible. Pick it up. Pick up a book on the Apocrypha. Go to the book of Maccabees. And when you start reading First Maccabees about Antiochus Epiphanes, who was one of Alexander, they call Alexander the Greek general, look at how smooth this guy was, and then shortly thereafter, he waited 2 years. He had simple-minded Negroes 2,000 years ago kicking Rainbow Coalition garbage. Yes. See, you got to know history. If you know history, you see that we're doing nothing more than repeating the same thing over and over and over again. It was these simple-minded Negroes who got 5 million of our people killed in the streets 2,000 years ago. Oh, yes. They changed the religion. They started praying to Zeus, put the pig swine's flesh up on the altars. A lot of stuff they did. And these were all people who looked like me and you. They sold out. They were part of the Greek police force, the Greek army. This is all before the Romans, by the way. This is the stuff that our own people did to us. And then not only that, Alexander double-crossed them. Once he achieved certain goals, he killed all of them off. But not until they helped him to kill us off. They were taking census reports a few thousand years ago they did that. Before they made a move on us, because remember, the white man was not indigenous to that land. If you look at what they call the land of Israel, it is in Africa, so to speak. It is. You're there. Who did that land belong to first? The Canaanites, right? And the Phoenicians. Those are all black people, man. So they didn't have an issue about whether on this side of the Suez. There was no Suez in those days, but there was no issue to them. But anyway, get your hands, read this book. I like to get the Catholic version because it's the expanded version. It's got the third book of Maccabees, which goes into the registration system, how long it lasted, how long Antiochus waited before he made his move on us, the kind of stories and lies that he sent people who look like me and you back to us to give us. And once he had felt that the lies was well set, we believed the promises and everything, get him. And he just moved in ruthlessly and took us out, raped, killed many black women, carried them off as slaves. They said they was killing the brothers who was about to get married at the altars right while the women were standing there. And that really freaked a lot of black women out when they saw that. It really did, you know. But yet, see, we don't know about that kind of history. We don't know about that kind of history because nobody's talking to us about this. These books used to be part of the regular Bible. I got news for you. I tell anybody who reads the so-called Bible today, you're not playing with a full deck. This book tells you that there's 204 books to the Bible. There's a book in here that tells you that. So most of them, me and my friends, we have. We have the Book of Wars. White man took that out of there. What's the Book of Wars dealing with? It's dealing with how a black man chopped off the head of a white man who's the first father of the white boys at his own grandfather's funeral. They showed up to try to steal the inheritance. And the brother said, we ain't going for this. I'm not going to wait for my father. I'm not going to wait for my uncles to make a move. I'm making a move. And he did. And the white man took that out of the Bible so you wouldn't know about that. It's called the Book of Wars, or they call it the Book of Jashir. They say the books are lost. They're not lost, my brother. They're out there. Every one of them is out there. All right. I think I've said much on that. Questions?
I'd like to know, how do you protect yourself? I know my father was in the Army in about 40, and he got some information that maybe he shouldn't have known. So we were just speaking about, he wrote and started writing about all the events. He said, save water. He said, we're in a project. He said, that's basically like apartheid of America and certain areas. So I'd like to know, how do you protect yourself? Because they had him documented when he went to get his papers. The CIA had wrote up papers. He couldn't get it. So he went there. They had him labeled as paranoid schizophrenic, because all the things that you're saying, a lot of times our people are in denial and they don't believe these things. So what it is my mother, she didn't believe it until later on. My father was found dead in his apartment. They got separated after 40-something odd years because of what he was preaching. He was planning on getting young black men together, preaching the word to the fellow that we need a black nation. And he had a flag set up and whatever. But how do you protect yourself from, someone trying to stop you from getting the word out? I have a lot of literature. He died in 84 in his apartment alone. He was telling us that they been following him, they had his phone tapped, and you can say he was justified paranoid, because all these things are documented, things that came out later on in years about the bannings, about the taxi commission, about all things going on, came true, all the things that he found out. And a lot of times he was in, he had networked with other black people. I don't know all the black people, but he was getting ready to do something. And that was it. How do you protect yourself?
All right, number one is this. Some of like what the brothers and myself here is doing right now. That is, get out there and don't wait. Just give the information out. Because look, even if they decide they want to bump a guy like me off, let me tell you something. I'm not asleep. I mean, it's not every day that they get a guy like me as a company commander who tells them, look, I'm tired, I'm leaving the military. And it's okay. Everything's hunky-dory. No. They have their means and their ways of how to keep tabs on you. So after this, I have this brother right here to thank. I don't know if he's going to get me spanked or anything, but Reggie, he's a troublemaker, man. After because we used to always get together and just talk about this kind of stuff amongst ourselves, and then we noticed the reaction of people who was coming by the mart. They come to buy a slice of pie or cake, and hey man, we never heard. Where you get this from? So finally, after the first time, I got up enough nerve to come and actually do something like this back in February, and I couldn't sleep for a while, because I kept watching tape. I said, damn, I said that? I didn't know I knew that stuff like that. Well, once you get the information out, okay, it's kind of like this, it's too late. How are you going to head it off, in a sense? It's tapes, video. Now we're going to be printing stuff. Things is in the newspaper. All kinds of things. And I'm not the only one, so I'm happy about that. I'm not the only one. I don't know how many more brothers like myself who has been in the military and know how they're going to do it, what the smiles on their face are going to look like after they come to kill us and all that. There's many brothers and sisters that know the same thing I know, especially those high-ranking officers, the colonels, the black colonels, the black one-star generals, man. Where are these guys at? They don't live in me and your neighborhood, man, that's for sure. And I don't know if that's by arrangement, because somebody who they worked for said, look, you're going to live up here with me so I can keep an eye on you, or that's a decision they made on their own. But the point is, they're not with us. They're not down here with us. I don't know where they stand when it is the fan. All I know is I just have an idea that the try and not worry about this fear factor is, look, I got to get the info out. There are some of my people within this group who want to know, man, and they need to know this. They just need